Hi, I'm Scott, and today we're going to get our irrigation system tuned up and ready for spring on Dad It Yourself. So Jason stopped by the other day and mowed the lawn, and it's looking really good. It is, however, getting a little dry. As you can see, it's yellowed up. So if you like a green lawn like I like a green lawn, we need to get my sprinkler system back in shape and ready to go. This video is sponsored by ImoLaza. More on them later. So step number one is turning on the water. Many of you may have a shutoff valve in your irrigation control box or over by your water supply. I have two. I have this hose bib right here, and that black line goes to the sprinklers. And then over here in the back, right here, and it has a similar setup to what I just showed you earlier. Many of you have probably turned off your water for the winter to prevent freezing, but now the temperatures have warmed up. It's a good time to turn those valves back on. And don't forget to turn it slowly so that you don't cause a water hammer to your system. In my case, I turn this valve on and then I slowly open the valve to the system that goes here. This one goes to my irrigation in my front and side yards, and this is for my hose. As you can see, it's in the off position. Now that I've got my water on, I want to inspect the system. What I have here is an anti-siphon valve up here on the faucet, and then down here I have a backflow preventer. When you have irrigation hooked up to your potable water system, you want to have a backflow preventer. And I noticed that I got a little leak on this one right here. It's dripping right there. I'm just going to give it a little turn and tighten that down a little bit more, and I think that will fix it. Really get that seated down onto the gasket. Now it looks like it solved the problem. I'm going to look to see if there's any cracks in this or leaking. Make sure you have a backflow preventer on your irrigation systems, whether it's a similar system like this, which is a plastic inline, or a metal backflow preventer. Now we're going to test each zone for operation. In my case, I have this 9-zone box, and I have 8 zones, and mostly because of my water pressure. I only have the ability to put 4 or 5 sprinkler heads on each zone. Program is still in there from last year, and it's running about 10 minutes behind, but that won't matter right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn manual, and what this is going to do is run through my zones. So let's go ahead and check all these sprinklers out and see if they're working. What I'm looking for while the system is running is heads that don't pop up. They're obstructed by grass or weeds, or the nozzles aren't spraying correctly. And these all look like they're doing good so far. These look like they're doing good too. The challenge with these edge ones that are actually in the lawn, oh, sorry for my shadow, is that they get a sod plug right over the top of them. We're going to go ahead and clean those sod plugs out. Here's a really good example of why those sod plugs need to be cleared. They're actually not allowing the sprinkler head to come all the way up. Therefore, I'm not getting good flow to these sprinklers. And there's actually one in that corner, another one over there. And you can probably see that the sprinklers aren't even running here at all. But there are 7 sprinklers in this boulevard strip, and they are all stuck under sod plugs. So here's some of the tools I'm going to use to clear those sprinkler heads. I got me a bucket for the plugs, a knee pad. I got my 5-in-1 tool. This thing's going to come in handy. You're going to see this in action. Gardening tool to kind of poke around, and some shears in case I have a bush or something that just needs to be cut. Let's go ahead and clear a couple of those out. Here's a really good example of a plug. You can see the top of the sprinkler, but that's it. That sprinkler head's nice and clear now. The grass will fill in a little bit around it. And let's do the rest of them. So I got all the plugs out of here, and I don't know if you can see it, but I had to paint little blue dots so that in the future I can find these. They were really difficult, but as you can see, they're all running now. One of them, right next to that truck, I actually had to dig the ground up to find that sprinkler head. It was gone, but they are working all the way down the row now. So when you're adjusting the heads, most of the sprinkler manufacturers will give you a key or something like that. This one specifically is for this type of head. You can either go down in this hole to adjust the length of the spray, or this hole to adjust the band of the spray. And for the other type of sprinklers, I use just a small point screwdriver like this to adjust the spray here, and then you turn this ring on the side to adjust the throw of the sprinkler. So I've run my sprinklers probably 3 or 4 times already now, just to make sure everything's good, checking the spray patterns and all that stuff, and everything seems to be working good. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk around the yard, and I know where all my sprinkler lines are buried, so I'm going to go along those paths in front of the sprinkler heads, and I'm going to feel for anything mushy, like an underground leak. Because if you notice that your sprinkler heads aren't working well, if they're the pressure's a little low, you probably got a leak somewhere. And I'm doing pretty good. It seems like everything is still nice and solid, but there's no guarantee. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this as I progress through the summer and make sure there are no leaks. Now that I've got all my spray patterns set up and everything seems to be working, I'm going to check my timing. I'm going to make sure my clock's set right, and as you can see, I'm about 9 minutes off. I'm going to go ahead and set the clock, make sure it's current. There we go. The date seems to be looking good. It is. And then I'm going to check the run times. So right now I have mine set up for 3 times a day, 7 a.m. and then what's my next zone? Oh, right now just once, 7 o'clock in the morning, but I have 3 times on this one. So when it gets really hot in the summer, I usually do 7 in the morning, a little short one at about 1 in the afternoon, and then another short one at 7 o'clock at night. Remember, in the summertime, it doesn't get dark here until 10 p.m. So a 7 p.m. watering is still technically daylight. As you progress through the day, you want to extend those waterings or change them, and that's where a good programmable controller comes in mind. And speaking of programmable controllers, I'm going to go ahead and replace this one. If you're ever going to replace your controller, spring is the best time to do it. And I'm going to replace this old controller with this controller from ImoLaza. This is the Master ET fully automated Wi-Fi capable digital controller. Most modern controllers are easier to install. You just label the wires from your old system, mount the new unit, and reconnect. Be sure to follow all the manufacturer's wiring diagram. ImoLaza has a great outstanding installation video, and I'm going to link it down in the description. ImoLaza is the sponsor of today's video. They manufacture a variety of irrigation controllers for the homeowner and professional. Controllers range from 4 zones all the way up to 96 zones in their Pro 2 wire model. Some of the advantages of having a smart controller are customizable schedules, new grass schedule, fixed schedule, and the ET Smart Schedule. These schedules provide different opportunities such as tailored scheduling for different lawn areas, newly planted grass, flexible watering sets, durations, and frequencies, and automatically adjusting watering based on weather, season, and climate changes. They have a remote control app featuring quick run, water delay, skip, and standby modes. These execute specific watering needs for quickly save on the last 3 quick runs, or delay because of weather, or skip specific watering schedules for events, lawn maintenance, or adjustments in particular areas, and standby. They have detailed zone information. It lets you view and set information for each zone, including naming, images, plant types, sprinkler types, soil types, sunlight, slope, and allowable consumption for that area. The unit connects to the weather. It offers 7-day weather forecasting, calendar and water usage, and schedules dates based on details, plan types, start times, and watering durations. And you easily can choose to start watering a set number of minutes before or after sunset or sunrise. And then weather station selection. You can choose your local weather station to get the most detailed information for your unit. So that went relatively easy. Using those included labels really helped out get everything wired in. Now I just have to get the app installed and get this thing programmed again. Setting up the controller was extremely easy using the app. It took me through all the steps, selecting my zones, the durations, the type of grass, the type of sprinkler, and all the different questions I needed to have an effective watering schedule for my lawn. So those were all the steps it took for me to get my sprinkler system tuned up and ready to go. I'll have a printed checklist available to you down in the description. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, put those down below. Speaking of comments, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you do, hit that bell for notifications. If I've done anything in this video or any of my other videos that you found helpful, consider becoming a channel member, giving me a super thanks, or becoming one of my Patreon members. I want to thank ImoLaza for sponsoring this video. Thanks for watching. Dad it yourself.